Welcome back to the channel, guys. The day one channel. I am Mio, your host on this crazy journey that is life. That sounds, I don't know that I could do that again. But in either case, listen, I wanted to jump in here and talk about fear. I feel like day one, I know day one for my weight loss journey, I definitely was scared. I was scared of my ability to accomplish what I thought I needed to do and my inability to really understand what I needed to do because I hadn't even realized how I'd gotten to where I was. That makes sense. Like I remember thinking, I remember sitting in the bed that morning, and just thinking to myself, I gotta get a green smoothie. Like I gotta get a smoothie. Cause at this point in time, my routine the day before, let's talk about this. So I would get up and I would go to Starbucks and I would get some type of latte, some kind of delicious upside down, black and white, marble mocha something. And always a venti and always with extra whipped cream and extra caramel. And that would come with usually the lemon loaf. Really like the lemon loaf. Feel like it's one of their most consistent products. And so that would start it off. And then that would take me until about, I'd start work early. So that would take me like 6 a.m. to like 9. Okay. So we're now about 9 o'clock. And at 9, you can usually get a nice breakfast taco or breakfast burrito. And I'm a killer for this Mexican place that was close to my office. And so I'd go there and I get a breakfast burrito with hash browns, um, and a yoo because I'm a sucker for you. And that would take me from like 9 to like 11:30. And then I would go to there was this place called B Spot. Uh, well, it was kind of like a combination, but B Spot had better shakes in my opinion. So it's actually a Michael Simon restaurant, Michael Simon chain. But B Spot, Northeast Ohio. I don't know if they're outside of Ohio, but I would go there and then I would get just a delicious burger with fries and always a chocolate shake. And they'd make the chocolate shake nice and thick. I mean, it's delicious. And then they would have these sweet potato fries. I can't remember what they were called now, but with you could get like cinnamon sugar and stuff. It's delicious. There was another place called the Rail, which is another burger place that had sweet potato fries. Um, actually, I want to say the Rails fries were better. I want to say the Rails fries were better, but the shakes were better at B Spot. In either case, this takes me to lunchtime, okay? This is what I'm eating at lunch. And sometimes before lunch, depending on what I had to do in my morning schedule, I would stop and get some type of Italian cookie or pastry or something before or after the breakfast burrito. Okay. This is my eating routine, right? We haven't even gotten to my custard stops and all the rest of the nonsense. But my point in saying this, and then I'd go home and I'd eat a delicious dinner with my wife. Most of the time, I would cook or she would cook, but we cook and followed up by some kind of delicious dessert. And that was, I mean, apple pie, just all of the things. And no wonder I was 350 flipping pounds. So like like, obviously, if I was gonna continue to eat like that, I was still going to the gym, people, keep this in mind. I was working out a good 4 or 5 days a week still. Um, and so all of that said, I remember being scared about how am I gonna accomplish this? Because I didn't even realize how I got there. And fear is something that I never really thought too much about it, but I was writing a dating profile. Um, Neo's Poly, you see it at the end of the thing, but Neo's Poly is something I'm doing. It's the first ever reality TV show. We'll talk about that and other things, but the whole aspect of fear, I started talking about in this dating profile to like explain who I am. And one of the things I wanted to express was how I plan and organize, and create and reverse engineer solutions to problems or connecting visions to dreams to make them real. And we'll talk about that and how at 14 years old, I decided what university I was going to graduate from, like at 14, and then did everything I needed to do to get to that. But, and part of that was my mom, but, doing those kind of things. But and fear and aspects of fear, like, man, I, I have for the last 25 years been training police and military dogs how to attack me, like bite my body and attack me, find me and attack me. create aggression, create a mood that is at the highest peak of anger to attack me, to learn how to bike correctly with more force, with more pressure, deeper, all of these things. And I love that. I love it. Some of you, if you follow my social media, you've seen Logan. Like, I love it. But what most people don't know is that until 21, 21, yeah, 21, I was deathly afraid of dogs. Deathly afraid of dogs. No, I think it was 20. I was 20. In either case, and so I had a girlfriend. I lived in an apartment off campus, and I'm deathly afraid of dogs. I'm talking like from 5, 6 years old. As soon as I could identify and say what a dog was, I was scared of them. It didn't matter what size. It could have been a miniature poodle. Actually, my neighbor had a miniature poodle named Tuffy, white poodle. And I remember in first grade walking from the corner of my street where my bus stop was to my house and crying for dear life at my neighbor's house because Tuffy was outside barking at me. No lie. I can also tell you a time Anthony Galafaro, shout out to Anthony Galafaro. I went to school with him. Had to be 8th grade. He had a Rottweiler puppy, 6 months old. Okay, I'm there on my bike with my brother. And his Rottweilers, he's like, yeah, let me show you my puppy. And I'm like, cool, it's a puppy, right? And I'm 14ish, so I'm still like, yeah, it's a puppy, it's cool. This effing puppy, 6 months old, and it's a Rottweiler, okay? I don't know these things. So 6 months old, this Rottweiler might as well have been a full-grown dog, okay? So now I was so scared that my mind left me, and instead of me riding my bike, which would have taken me away faster, I ran. And I ran so hard that my legs hurt for a week. Like, don't joke. So all of that said, um, fear, now to think about how scared I was of dogs, to the transition of me now embracing and understanding and removing the ignorance of what caused the fear. Because for me, I was scared of dogs because I couldn't understand them. Couldn't understand them. I didn't know how to communicate with them. I didn't think they communicated. It was just so many different things. And you fear the unknown. That's what I'm getting to. You fear the unknown. And so I'm here on the Day One channel because I remember sitting in my bed scared of what it was going to look like and how. And I look at some of these photos, which by the way, here's a photo of me, Decoy. Um, I need to share more stuff like that, but I'm literally thinking to myself, man, fear. It's this beast of a thing that really just comes from ignorance. And everything we don't know, we have the ability and potential to fear. When are we going to die? If we're going to die in this elevator, if it stops, is this floor going to give out on this story and I'm going to fall and plummet to my death? Like, are these close spaces going to suffocate me and I'm going to lose air? Like, whatever the thing is, it's this unknown that we don't know. And so what do we do with it? Like, what do we do with it? We have to act, because no matter what, the thing that's going to happen or not going to happen won't happen without action. And we can't stay paralyzed. Like, I could have sat in that bed the whole time and just been fat and then been on my 600-pound life or something. You know what I mean? Like you have to try, because even though I took green smoothies, I mean, listen, I was all out. I went out, bought a Vitamix. I'm all throwing apples in there. Like, look, you don't have to take the core out. And not losing any weight. I'm drinking all the green smoothies in the world and not losing any weight. But I had to learn. I had to hit the wall and say, none of these things that I think I should be doing are having the result I want. So I've got to do something different. And what my brothers and sisters used me as a child and always had me ask my parents for things because they didn't want to upset my parents or have my parents say no. And I always felt like, what's the worst they're going to say? No. So why not just ask? And so they always asked me, ask them if we could do this, ask them if we can have this, ask them for, because I'd always ask. But the reality is, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to learn, right? I learned through my failures. But the whole reason that this channel hasn't existed before now is because I've been allowing and embracing the fear of, what if? What if nobody watches this? What if I don't connect with anybody? What if nobody can see the vision that I'm explaining as I share myself? What if I get all the worst comments in the world? And you know what? Maybe all that happens. Maybe I'll have to delete some comments and block some people and do all these things, but like none of it'll happen. None of the other things I can possibly dream of that I really want to create as we connect will happen if I don't hit record and upload these videos. Even though I'm recording it on the oldest Samsung A31 phone, I am editing it on CapCut on an other iPhone 7, and it takes me like this is a 10-minute video, and it takes me 3 hours to be able to separate the audio from the video to upload it to Adobe Podcast because it's gotta be a free account, and they'll only do audio files if it's a free account, so I gotta separate the audio from the video, upload the audio, clean the audio, then send the video and the audio over to the iPhone. Then when it gets through the iPhone, I've gotta then use CapCut to put it's a complicated process on phones, but I wanna keep getting the videos out, and so I'm not gonna be scared, I'm not gonna allow fear to paralyze me, I'm gonna keep taking the actions and then adjust and move and ebb and flow how it's needed, because I trained dogs for the last 25 years, and I'm really good at it. And that came from the most fearful thing ever, and it has taken me all over the world. I literally right now have dogs all over the world, and I love that. I love that. And so I know these things that I want to do with this channel seem crazy. They seem crazy to me as I say them. But I'm asking you right now, like, comment, what is the thing that scares you? What is the thing that you feel like in this moment right now, you're like, yeah, this is my day one, but my day one might be again tomorrow because I feel like I can't do it. Maybe it's quitting your job or asking for a divorce or telling your husband you're pregnant. I don't know. I don't know. Telling your wife you're pregnant. I don't know. Telling your wife you're pregnant, and that can go either way. But like, what is it? Comment. Let me know. I really want to connect. Let's talk about it. And subscribe, because I need 100,000 subscribers by my birthday. It's June 3rd, and it's May 11th. So like, we don't have a whole lot of time, people. I need you. I need you. Like, comment, subscribe, and then share this. Share this with your boy. Share this with your girl. Share this with somebody that's starting their day one and they're paralyzed with fear. Send this to, here we go. You ready? If you want to get a divorce, send it to that person and let them know right now that it is not something that you ever envisioned you'd want, but that it's killing you inside, that you're not as happy and that they're not as happy as you both could be if you were apart, and that's how you feel. And then open up the discussion. So there you go. That was my you could send it. Just send it. And wait, let's do another one. Um, if you are a person that is pregnant right now and that pregnancy is infidelity and you don't know how to tell your partner, send them this video. Partner, they messed up. There's no way they can give you words to express it. Maybe they hurt you. I'm sure it's not something you expected. But at the end of the day, the most difficult thing possible is to figure out if you want to stay with this person and work through this with them, or how to amicably separate. Because unfortunately, things like this happen and life sucks. And today could be your day one. So day one of how you choose to decide to handle this. Okay. They're sharing this video with you because they knew no other way to tell you. So my name's Neo. This is me telling you. Feel free to comment down below if someone sent this to you, which one it was, whether you were the pregnant and the input, yeah, that one, or if you're the other one that's like, hey, I need to, let me know. Comment down below.